Welcome to another in the series of Entrepreneur Accelerator webinars, where we are meeting each of our speakers for our big Hawaii event in October 2023. We're going to spend a fireside chat here with our next guest, and I think you're going to enjoy this. Jim Ree, do you want to introduce who we have today?
Oh, thank you, Jonathan. Yes, absolutely. It is my absolute pleasure to have on the program today Karen Burge, and she hails from, I want to say, the UK. Is that correct, Karen? Is that the area, or is it a different area? It is the UK.
Yep, I'm in southern England, just south of London. Yes.
Okay. Okay, and I just want to share with you, Karen has such a unique niche that I feel is unique and very, very powerful. Empowerment. She has the marketing brilliance behind her with what she does with the wealthy. And it's elevating your entrepreneurship in the how-tos and what to do in order to have the clientele of the wealthy. And it is truly a special significance that Karen and I met through the executive event or networking event, the E&E Inner Circle. So I know we go back a little bit, truly, but I've experienced working with her not only through E&E Inner Circle as a business associate and colleague, but she and I worked together. I took one of her masterminds courses in coaching that she is such an expert of. Her competencies, skills, knowledge, and experience are bar none. She truly has an in-depth way to analyze. You would think doing a logo is okay. I love this color and this is what I like, and I like that style. And when we got together, I was not expecting what I truly experienced. And I encourage everyone to go through this process because she asked so many questions on a deeper level and got an understanding of who I was, what I wanted, my architect type, and was able to marry what my vision was, because the client is important to have their vision, but she was able to bring it to a different level, and it was just transforming. Should I say that? It was a transformation that I had done, and I appreciated that so much. But I don't want to spoil anything or share. I want her to share with you more of what she does and her business, how it is unique, and what she will be speaking of into in Hawaii when we meet on October 22nd through the 29th at our special event, which is Entrepreneur Accelerator. And it is the first of a global summit where we are going to bring together globally entrepreneurs from all walks of life, and all stages, whether it is someone who is just starting out, someone who has gone through entrepreneurship for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, or whether they're going from the corporate world, transitioning to becoming an entrepreneur. That gap, we have so many best kept secrets, I should say, and golden nuggets that we don't want entrepreneurs to have to go through what we went through to get to where we are today. So without further ado, Karen, please help me out here. Your expertise, what you're doing, your competencies, but we want to know who you are and maybe a little bit of background with you and where you hail from, because I was in the UK. I met you about a year ago or so, and we had high tea, Jonathan. It was just a special, special time. And it was during the time of the Queen's Jubilee. And so, I mean, we remember that and dearly. And so I'll always remember that. But at this time, though, Karen is with us here now. And I want to make sure that people know what you do and how it could really enhance their life, their business.
Hey, well, we had a lot of fun, didn't we?
Yes, yes, we
Both when we
did.
were working together and when we were having tea in London. Yes, English tea, you can't beat it. So I guess to give a bit of background, I never had a proper career path. I married a man who kept changing jobs and moving around the world. So there were several times that I landed in a new place and went, okay, what am I going to do this time? And so I've had lots of different businesses. And that to me is, I was an entrepreneur. I started up all sorts of various businesses, huge diverse range. And that's what really lit me up. And then, gosh, about 7 years ago, I sort of took a step back and wondered what to do next. And I thought this time, it really has to light my soul. And cut a long story short, really, I then became a coach. And I did the NLP and I did the life coaching and I did all the qualifications around that. But I found when I was talking to business people, that's what lit me up, of course, because that's what I had been. So I guess I transferred into a business coach and realized that then my absolute love was marketing. Everything to do with marketing, which is essentially the getting and keeping of clients. And that's what I did, all the mainstream marketing. I had courses, then we had COVID and during the lockdown, and I put out a course out there to help people actually put their marketing plan together. And then I had a bit of an aha moment because everybody went online at that time, if you remember. Every single business had to go online if they were to keep going. And I saw, and what it's like on social media, whatever field you're in, you're surrounded by all the other people in that field, aren't you? Because that's what you're fed by Facebook or whatever. And I was aware that all the coaches, the therapists and the service providers that I was seeing, they were all doing the same thing, all doing the same thing. And the coaches who were training and teaching coaches were teaching them to do the same thing, pretty much. There were a few exceptions, but not many. And they were all following that mainstream marketing. And I know if there are coaches and various people like that out there, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll know about the blogging and the newsletters and the landing pages and the funnels and the social media and all that. And certain other things that happened to me that year. One instance, I've been approached by a company who suddenly had a new luxury product and they didn't know how to get it out there because they were printers and suddenly they had this new thing. And that's when I realized, I thought, why aren't all these people, all these coaches and consultants, why are they all selling their courses and programs at the same level? Why aren't they going for this much more high net worth market out there? So that was my aha moment. And that's where it's grown from there, really, as to what I'm doing today.
You find that is, I love it. I love the story. I love how the beginning came to fruition and your aha moment. And I think that is a big part of an entrepreneur's success, Karen, with going through an experience and understanding that that's a growth for you, that's a learning experience, but it spoke to your mind in a different way. And that is how you launched what you're doing. And I feel from an entrepreneur standpoint, unless you're open to hearing and to seeing and to feeling and asking the questions, that, I think that is where you can elevate your business. But from that point, can you share with us, has it been difficult, or has there been an increase in the online presence of what you do now as with wealth management?
Has there been an increase? I mean, for me, I found my niche. I love doing it. And I think, you feel when something is right, when all the bits come together. And I've been in that fortunate position. I certainly wasn't born of affluent parents, no way. But because of jobs my husband had, because where we've been in the world, I've spent a lot of time with very wealthy people. So to me, they're just people. I mean, they are just people. They've got the same problems as anybody else. But I'm not intimidated by that thought of high net worth individuals. But I understand them at the same time, because I've spent a lot of time with them. And I find that when I talk about this to people, why aren't you going for this market? They are excited about it. But of course, there's that, like we all are, we get those thoughts coming up of, oh, well, can I do that? And the usual one is, well, I don't know these people. And how could I, how could I do that? And how could I charge? And this is what I love doing now, because I think that, and I do try and get this over it. I mean, this isn't something that sort of newbies can come along and do. There has to be an integrity about this. But I do say that, if you are established, if you have that expertise, if you get results for your clients already, then you are perfectly placed to move into that market and actually start getting richly rewarded. Because this saddens me so much. The vast majority of the people I see out there who are doing coaching, they are not earning very much. And it really breaks my heart, because some of them are so good at what they do, and yet they are struggling. And that seems such a shame.
I totally agree. I hear that every day. And I was talking recently to a lady who a year ago was teaching leadership development courses for household name brands in Abu Dhabi. And I was talking to her in a supermarket where she was stacking shelves. And I couldn't believe that you've got more qualifications than me. You've got a better track record than me. How are you in this position? How is this possible? But it's the one thing you see everywhere. Coaches and consultants always want more clients. And usually behind that is they want more income. They want the financial security. And I think you've got a brilliant, kind of obvious, but brilliant solution that nobody thinks of, which is aim for a higher income bracket client with higher disposable income who does want high caliber work. Yeah. Right. So it's not, I think it's a two-way thing. Wouldn't you agree? It's not only are you well positioned, but they have to recognize that you are well positioned and that you have a track record, so that you're of the same caliber. Would that be right?
Absolutely. I mean, what I want to do in Hawaii is inspire people to start thinking like this, to realize that they don't have to follow the herd and look for more and more and more clients. If you just have a few really well-paying clients, then suddenly everything changes, because you're not doing all that striving and hustling and hassling. You've probably only got a dozen clients a year, and imagine the time that gives back to you. But yes, that market, that particular market, they are looking for something different. They are used to very high quality. So everything that you put in place, and I'll be writing about this in the book and talking about it in Hawaii, everything that is seen about you has to reflect that quality that they are looking for. And that's exclusivity. And I hesitate to use the word luxury, because I don't want people to think that they've got to swan around with millionaires on super yachts. I'm talking about the consultant down the road who might live in your neighborhood. I'm talking about perhaps the head teacher at your kid's school, or the person at the gym. They are the people who have got the disposable income, that are happy to pay for what they need or what they want.
And
Do
having
you,
oh, sorry,
I was going, so I was going to ask, how do you, in your target audience, how do you, if it were a database, how do you pull them up? Is it the consultant, or and do you do it by earnings? How, or reach out in a special way?
Lots of secrets there, but what I do say to people is, because so many people say to me, how do I find these clients?
Mhm.
And I say, you don't have to find clients anymore. You just have to position yourself like the lighthouse, shining out your brilliance so that they see you.
I love, oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
Jonathan, your take on this.
there's a fantastic book by Al Ries and the other author called Positioning. And I read it years ago. And I've always had a bee in my bonnet about branding versus positioning. I think positioning is way more important. I think you being visible and credible with a great track record and a reputation for getting the client what the client wants. I think the mark of a good coach or consultant is happy clients. And one of my most powerful people I ever met was a gypsy storyteller who couldn't read or write, but he had a profound impact on anyone he worked with. And I remember thinking, isn't that really interesting? He can't write his own name. He doesn't have qualifications as such, but he's an old soul who can perform miracles with people, because I saw it done. So it's not about, I don't think it's about the coach's qualifications. I don't think it's about certificates on the wall. I believe in these things, but I don't think that's what ultimately counts. What ultimately counts is the success of your clients. If I see a successful client, I want to know who the coach is. Does that make sense? So I totally agree with you. I think it's absolutely about your brand. To me, your brand means nothing to anyone until they have an emotional connection to that brand. I don't care who Coca-Cola is unless I have a connection to Coca-Cola. Then the brand becomes important. It's now anchored to represent something. But until I have that emotional connection, I don't care. I've never been a fan of letterheads and business cards and leaflets. And I see so many people spending so much money on those things, thinking that, if I've got a nice shiny business card, I'm going to be fully booked. No, you're not. I hate to tell you, no, you're not. So I love this. It's a breath of fresh air, and I'm glad I'm not wrong.
And yes, that whole thing about positioning and branding is fascinating. I mean, it's understanding there's a difference, but you do need both, because if you think about somebody, let's take a high net worth person, they are going to go and shop at Chanel because of the brand. But then again, Chanel has positioned themselves in the market, or at least they started off. And this is what is interesting too, is that the business model is totally different, because you are going to, I encourage my clients to put together something amazing, something bespoke, something extraordinary for the individual, which is exactly what Chanel did. You would go along to the atelier and you have the couture outfit made. And then further down the line, of course, then she decided, I'll make a off the peg collection where people could go and buy the clothes. Not as expensive, not as amazing, but more available to all. And then, of course, time went on, and then the perfume comes out, and then anybody now can go and buy lipstick from Chanel. And this is the total opposite of what most coaches are doing, because most coaches, they start off, I'll give away something free, and then I'll sell something for $10, and then I'll sell something for $97, and then $250, with the ultimate aim of them working one-to-one with me. But with the business model that I'm suggesting is, no, create something extraordinary, create something absolutely transformational that will draw people in. And then later, if you feel that you've got the time, the energy, the inclination, and you want to help those who can't afford that, then put together something for them. So it's a descending model rather than ascending. Is that
Totally love it. I love it. I really do. And it makes so much sense as you're describing it, and your example truly brings a visual. Could I ask you, Karen, so kind of when you work with clients? Is it virtual? Is it one-on-one? Do they come to you? Is it a session, or about how long? How does this unfold?
Sorry, Jean Marie, you're coming in and out there a lot. I'm not sure I
Okay,
got it all. Were
let
you
me
asking how I work?
let me rephrase it. When you secure a client, is it a one-on-one, or do you have a group setting? Is it more of a coaching, and is it an hour session, or do you have a class or course that they take? Is it virtual or in person?
Okay, so yes, so starting at the top, but you have to remember, my clients are not my clients' clients. Do you see what I mean? I'm not going for the high net worth people. My clients are those coaches, consultant service providers who want to work. So yes, I have my private one-to-one clients. We decide how long we want to work together. It depends on what they need, obviously. Some will be have more things in place than others. But then I do have a course. So I have like a group program that anybody can join anytime. And that again takes them through those steps, because there is this framework. And I say, before you start anything, you have to understand this market. They are different. Yes, I said at the beginning, they're all human beings. Yes, they have the same problems, but they think differently. They make buying decisions differently, and you have to understand that. And then we go through that whole thing about creating a beautiful world. And I'm writing about that in the chapter in the book. You have to create something special, like that atelier, like that Parisian showroom. And then, of course, it's about connecting. The connecting is the big one. So yes, it's understanding, it's creating, and not creating just a course, but creating a special world, creating your branding, that positioning and everything. That's a big chunk that people need to understand. And then, yes, how to connect with them and how to gain them as clients and keep them as clients. Because I think the ultimate aim is, once you've got these clients, you then want them to open their address book and say, you need to speak to my friend. And you don't have to worry about marketing ever again when you get to that position.
It's the referral. It's totally on the referrals, and I love it. Love it.
What do you think is the fear then, Karen? Is it about I won't be able to get clients won't pay me that kind of money, or is it their own self-worth? I can't charge that kind of fee. What kind of resistance do you get?
A lot around mindset. There's a lot around mindset. In fact, I mean, and I'm not a mindset coach, but I appreciate what a big, almost the elephant in the room is for most courses. Actually, it's getting the person in the right mindset for it. So in fact, in my course, in my Attracting the Affluent program, I've actually brought in the most incredible mindset energetic selling coach, I think probably one of the most in the UK. And they go through that bit with her first before they even start on mine, because there is so much around, as you say, recognizing your own value. You have to be almost to the point of arrogance when you do this, because you have to have that firm belief that what you do is so incredibly good that people want you. And yeah, I love that sort of that quote or that thing, when you're selling something, the first person you have to sell it to is yourself, because you have to be so, as I say, that self-belief, that's what you have to do first before you can start. You have to be so sure that what you've got is so fantastic before you go and sell it to anybody else. So yeah, that mindset. So a lot, the questions, things like, well, I don't know where to find these people. I can say, don't worry about that. I'll teach you that. I'll show you that. It's it's easy. It's easier than you think. But the big one is about, oh my goodness, am I good enough to do this? Are people going to pay me? That's where all the work comes in, is to helping them take what they've got, put it into something tangible, something amazing, and so that they are absolutely happy with what they're putting out there.
So do you think, is that one of the reasons why the traditional lead magnet followed by £10 investment followed by £97 investment is more palatable? They can handle that more. They feel okay about selling a $97 product as opposed to a $10,000 product.
It's familiar. It's familiar, isn't it? It's what everyone's being taught. And we all go for what's familiar. It keeps us safe. That's how our brains work. You know that, Jonathan. I'm sure. Yes, everybody sees what everybody else is doing, and most people feel happier doing what everybody else is doing. So yes, it takes a braver soul to step out there and say, do you know what? I'm going to do things differently. And I think I'm probably a rebel at heart, actually. That's why I like this.
It's funny because there must be so many. You must have a process and frameworks and things that you take clients through that I am so eager to know. But today is not the place for that. But that's really intriguing, and being able to craft something kind of high end, unique. That's the other factor, isn't it? The differentiation. I always say the minute you say I'm you've blown it, because you've just commoditized yourself. You don't want to be anything. You want to be the person who does this particular thing very, very well. Shelley Jorgensen talks about a niche so tight that only you fit in it. And I really like that concept. So I presume it's like that. It's about having that unique, one-of-a-kind offering that is so exclusive and so different that it's an attraction model as opposed to you running around trying to butterfly net people.
Yes. And I think a niche is great. If you can have a really tight niche, that just makes everything easier for you. But it's about, like I say to my clients, you've got to be the lighthouse, but I also say to them, you've got to claim your genius. You are putting something special together for them. But that's what these people are looking for. You see, they want to work, they want the best. So you need to be able to stand there and go, I'm the best at this thing, at this particular thing, I am the best. And that's what I mean about it. It's almost arrogance, isn't it? But and that self-belief that what you can do for people. And I also say to my clients, look, I want to take my clients that step further as well. I say to these coaches, anybody can go in and just fix a problem. You can all do that. That's what you've been trained to do. That's what you're used to doing. But how about going in and actually transforming somebody and taking them to the next level? And imagine the impact that you can have when you're working with somebody. And these people are very often the people, they can make a big impact on the world because they've got the connections and the money. These are the people who want to build amazing organizations. Or, you think of Bill Gates and curing, what else, to cure malaria. These people have big ideas. And if you can be beside them, helping them, I mean, I just think that's amazing. So I do encourage my clients to just go that bit further. Don't just go in and fix. Think about how your program can actually transform somebody.
I love how you're using what you know, Karen, and the various competencies that you have. It brings it together because yes, you were a life coach and you did marketing and that, but it's the whole package, and you're putting it together is like tying it with a bow. And that is the specialness of how you're able to have this niche. As Jonathan said, it is tight and it is very much doable, but people don't know what we don't know. And you are truly a lighthouse for this particular area of expertise. So this is going to be grand, and I'm loving it. Karen, is there anything else that you wish to have our audience know, whoever is viewing this? Is this for an area that is specific to European or Mediterranean or Can this be done global?
I think it could absolutely be global. As I say, I think, people will know. They're the ones who are sitting there thinking, I've spent years doing this. I know I'm good. I get great results. Why am I still struggling? Why am I still saying one day when I'd like to do that? And it's just, as you say, we don't know what we don't know. And I'm saying you can do this. You can absolutely do this. And yes, you may need some hand holding, but there are things that you can do. There are things that you can put into place. And, it's time you were richly rewarded. Why not? I often say, if you think about, I think I was saying it in the book, you can go out and buy a handbag. Everyone can go out and buy a handbag. You can go to the department store and you can spend $200. There'll be people out there spending $20,000. Beyonce's coach is not earning $100 an hour, which is what a lot of them out there are. Mm-hmm. And, where's the difference? Where is the difference between, I keep using coaches, but, there are so many service providers out there.
Yes.
I mean, in my little village here in England, I know, because I've met them and talked to them separately, there are 2 personal trainers. It's probably more, but the 2 I've talked to. One, she's a great girl. We've had her at the house. My husband and I both used her. And she's charging £400 for 10 sessions. £40. That's what? Jonathan, help me here. $50, something like that.
$50, yeah. Yeah.
Then I met another personal trainer at a gathering. He's a personal trainer. He gets flown out to LA to work with a particular rock star to get him into shape before he goes on tour. What's the difference?
Yeah. And we'll be using the same methods and the same approaches and the same fundamental principles,
Well, this is it. They're not using the same methods. That's the trouble, isn't it? And this is what I want to get over. Yes, in the methods that they teach, yes, they're using the same ways to get those people fit, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the way they are gaining
themselves.
Totally.
Very interesting. And I think, and just to go back to what Jean Marie said a minute ago, I think you're a really good role model for what you teach, because you have done what you are encouraging your students to do. You have found your unique blend. You have got your differentiation down, and you've got your ideal target market down. So people can look to you and go, does this work? They go, well, yeah. I remember I used to be, there used to be a thing where banks would have you on their preferred lender kind of list, and people could get funding to do training courses. And as an NLP trainer, I used to get loads of clients applying for funding, and I filled my courses. And then one day they turned around and said to me, we're taking away that agreement. You will no longer be able to get your courses funded. I said, well, can I ask why? Because we've been doing this for 10 years. And he said, well, because you can't make a living from NLP. And I said, well, clearly you're mistaken. Because I'm standing here talking to you, it's like, what are you doing? So yeah, it is absolutely about, there's a great old phrase from years ago that said that ideas are the coin of the entrepreneur, right? We earn by solving problems and creating solutions to things that don't currently exist. And the more unique, the more special it is, the better. And I think you've done that. And I think that therefore gives you all the credibility you need when you're talking to a client, because they're going to go, well, it's clearly working for you, so I'll trust that, And so at the second level down, your clients need to be able to project that as well. They need to be doing the same thing. They need to be showing their uniqueness so that the client recognizes that. Does that make sense? I don't know if I said that correctly, but you know what I'm going. Awesome. Anything else?
Oh my goodness. I think that your value is priceless. Karen, what you bring to the table here, what you are sharing with entrepreneurs globally, it truly is an art and a passion. And I think the passion that we're seeing, that we're feeling, that is so key in anything that an entrepreneur does. but to have a mentor, to have a coach that has the passion, they will even give you more. You just have to be open to it and listen and to do as they say. And I truly believe that anyone that listens to your talk, that comes to your sessions, they will get value times to the nth degree. So thank you. Thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for coming to Hawaii with us. We're really excited. Jonathan, do you want to share a little? Oh, well, wait a minute. Shall we have Karen? Wait a minute. And tell people how they could get in touch with you, and then we'll also do it at the end. But this way, if someone has to leave for whatever reason, could you share with people how to connect?
Right, gosh. Well, I have a group on Facebook. I'm afraid I live on Facebook, and it's called Working with the Wealthy. So anyone is very happy to apply to join that. And if they want to email me direct, again, I'm an old-fashioned girl. I use email still, and that is Karen, Karen, at karenjburge.com. And yes, anybody who just wants to drop a line and say, tell me more, or help, or how do I do this? I'm always happy to talk.
Absolutely. Oh, love it, love it, love it.
That'll be a popular workshop. That's going to be a busy room.
I'm excited.
I think.
Well, I just want to inspire people. And as I said at the beginning, I just want to see these people get paid the way they deserve to, because it's about time. It really is about time for
Absolutely.
a lot of that.
I love that. I love that. Well, then we should probably talk about what's happening in Hawaii, shouldn't we? Is something happening in Hawaii? Are we doing something? Are we?
I'm so excited.
I've heard rumors, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about this. Yes, October 2023, we are going to be getting together in Kona on the Big Island. All the islands in Hawaii are called Hawaii. That's why they're called the Hawaiian Islands. But Hawaii isn't a place. Hawaii, ha means breath, vai means water, which is a code word for energy, and e means the supreme. So when the first missionaries landed in Hawaii and they asked the natives, where do you live? They said, I live in Hawaii. What they were saying was, I live in the supreme manna that rides on the breath. They weren't talking about an island. So they went to the next island and went, where do you live? They went, Hawaii. So they called the islands the Hawaiian Islands. That's not what they were saying. So a whole interesting level of things here. We're going to be covering 3 things in Hawaii. We're absolutely going to be talking entrepreneurship. We are going to be talking about making money, creating products, offering services, unique services, and getting paid accordingly. We're also covering mental health and wellness because it's such a huge factor. Ask yourself the question, if you weren't able to run your business right now, how long would it work without you? How long would it last? Do you have a job or do you have a business? So your mental health is critical. We've all been through several years of vast uncertainty. And so what we'd like to do is help people get beyond that and get some semblance of sense. If Karen is the lighthouse in the distance, let's have some life jackets to hold on to get through the storms once and for all. And we're talking about body, mind, and spirit. We're very much complementary. We're very much alternative. We are talking about some of the old ways and some of the other stuff. And we are going to be on a sacred site in Hawaii under an astrological event. So we cannot ignore that. We have to bring that as part of the mix. So it's going to be something for everybody. The invitation we have for you is, do you want to come and join us? The word aloha means welcome, share my breath, share my space. So do you want to come and share our space for 7 days? Here's what's going to happen if you say yes. We're going to be spending 7 days on the Big Island doing the Entrepreneurs Accelerator Summit. The whole aim of the game is to shrink down your work week so you work less but earn more. Wonder if that appeals to you. Karen's room, big queue. We're also talking about you living longer and healthier. And we're going to be teaching certain aspects to ensure that this vessel that you walk about in lasts longer and has more energy. And ultimately, if you want to retire early or retire your partner early, and I'll never retire, but if you want to stop the day job and you want to create something new, then we're going to help you do that. So working less hours, making more money, learning and growing as an entrepreneur in a room full of people with hundreds of years of business experience, creating innovative products and services. We're going to be showing you a way to get real-time information from Amazon and turn it into products and services that you could then offer that no one else is. And we're going to take that work-life balance thing and flip it. Because in my belief, it's not work-life, it's life-work. You're here to live, you're not here to work. We're also going to be talking about training your body to generate and store more energy. If you think about it, how long can you live without food? Probably a couple of weeks. How long can you live without water? Days. How long can you live without oxygen? Minutes. How long can you live without energy? You can't. And the Hawaiians had a wonderful, they looked at a dead person and a living person, and you notice two differences. The living person has energy, and the living person is breathing. Therefore, breathing must be energy. But the word ha in Hawaii means breath. And we're going to be showing you how to charge your body and absorb more energy. In fact, tap into energy that isn't even yours. So much easier with your coach or a therapist or a trainer and you get shattered by the end of the day. It's because you're using your own energy. We're going to show you how to plug into the mains from other sources. So the 7-day Entrepreneur Summit, we are valuing at $7,500. What else could we throw into the mix to make it really attractive? 7 days in Hawaii, is that not attractive enough? Well, what about we throw in the accommodation as well? What if we have all the delegates and all the speakers under the same roof for 7 days? This is the King Kamehameha Marriott Beach Resort. It's on the beach, literally on the beach, and it's on a sacred site. It's where King Kamehameha's bones were laid out when he died. It's a very special location. There is a temple, a heiau, out in the water where, and Jean Marie was there, where the staff actually go out and perform a blessing every month for the benefit of the hotel, the guests, the Marriott, and the islands. We're walking into that culture. We're absolutely bowing with humility to that world, because that's where we're going to spend 7 days. I'm going to be teaching you some of that stuff as well. What else could we do? Well, we thought when we're in Hawaii, why not do what the Hawaiians used to do and do a firewalk? Now, firewalking has been around for a long, long time, originated in India. But when Tony Robbins made it really, really popular and mainstream in the 80s, he went to John Grinder, one of his NLP trainers, and asked for an angle or a shtick or a thing to hook his business onto. And Grinder suggested something the Western mind can't comprehend. And Tony trained with a person called Tully Birkin and learned how to do firewalking. Good fun at parties. However, the Hawaiians used to walk across recently cooled lava. That might challenge your beliefs a little bit. They would let, not the red stuff, they would let the lava flow go by, but once it turned black and there was a thin crust over it, they would walk across it. Interesting. So we're going to do one of them. That would probably cost you a couple of grand anywhere else. Into the bargain, we're going to have the Island Breeze Luau. The cultural team are going to be at our event. They are going to be demonstrating the hula. They're going to be demonstrating chanting. You're going to be eating Hawaiian food by tiki torch on the Hawaiian beach as part of our event. Why the heck not? So when you total all of that up, it's about $12,500 worth of value. So we thought, okay, if all that did was reduce your working week down to 5 hours a week, could you handle 1 hour a day? Do you like that idea? Would it be worth spending some time in Hawaii to learn how to do that? Would it be worth adding 10, 20 years to your lifespan with all your faculties and everything working? Would that be worth it? Would it be worth it to be able to retire 5 or maybe 10 years early? These are some of the implications and benefits. So it's a great deal at $12,500. Our retail price is $7,500. If you contact us between now and, what's our deadline, Jean Marie? When are we putting the price up?
It is actually in the next week and a half. So
That's
10 days.
It's getting close. Okay, it's getting close. Our price at the moment, the early bird price is $5,444. Everything about this is in a website called acceleratedentrepreneur.org. You can do a virtual walkthrough of the accommodation. You can see an itinerary of all the speakers are, the flight details, everything is there. Go there right now, book a place, and we will be happy to see you. We're also doing a live book launch. While we're there, we're going to attempt to get #1 international best-selling author containing Karen's chapter and other chapters as well. The Art of Saving Time and Money book will be launched live at the event, and it'll be fun to be part of that launch. So come and join us. If you are involved in the military, if you have served or are serving, we're also offering a 20% discount on all tickets as well in recognition of that. Hawaii has a huge military presence and naval presence, so it's only appropriate that we do that. So you can have two choices. You can either watch us go and do this and see all of our live streams on social media and really get fed up seeing how happy we are and tanned, or you could come along and join us and book a seat and join us in Hawaii. acceleratedentrepreneur.org. If you do so, we're looking at a massive, massive discount from 12,500 down to 7. Now, if that still sounds like a lot of money, guess what? You can actually apply for funding and have that broken down into monthly payments, and the first payment isn't due for 30 days. We are trying to, please make it easy. Come and join us. We're trying to make it easy for you. Come and join us if you possibly can. And we're also going to cover this. You may have heard of a certain 10-word affirmation that is supposed to work miracles. The book that this comes from actually says in the first chapter that he doesn't believe in affirmations. Then the rest of the book is all about an affirmation. I have tested this and I found it didn't work at all. Ho'oponopono is not a 10-word affirmation. It was originally a process that was done in person during a Pono meeting. And if you were summoned to a Pono meeting, you dropped everything and you went. I have experienced a Pono meeting. It was behind locked doors and it took 8 hours. Pono is getting clear. It's burying the hatchet. It's saying what you need to say, and they get to say what they need to say, and it never gets brought up again. Okay? To forgive and not forget is not to forgive at all. So Ho'oponopono, we've got a closed eye version where you can actually close your eyes and take you through the process of cutting connections with anything that doesn't serve you and preserving your own energy. One of the reasons celebrities age so quickly is because they have so many connections to all their fans and haters. This deals with that very, very powerfully. So that is going to be a little gift to you if you come and join us. So if you visit acceleratedentrepreneur.org, everything is there. That's the end of the commercial. Back to you guys.
Oh, wonderful. Jonathan, there is just so much that we're going to be doing, not only from a knowledge base, but to look at how much experience in the room with 30 plus speakers and years of experience, decades, and to have an opportunity in 1 week. And Jonathan, share with them, and this is not just a conference or a meeting. This is truly an event. And what's going to be the difference there? What's the difference with that, Jonathan? Can you share?
I always call them events because they are eventful, and they can be as eventful for the speakers as they are for the delegates. This is leading edge thinking. I've asked all the speakers. I don't want people coming. I really don't want people coming as a speaker to fill an hour and teach something that they teach every day of the week, so they can tick a box. That, I'm afraid, isn't good enough in my book. I want every room that these speakers are in to be blown away. I want people to come out ashen-faced and shocked at what they just learned and wishing they were in the room next door because the noises they were hearing from the room next door made them want to go in there as well. I've been on trainings like that. I want to be on those again. I'm going to be teaching stuff around AI. I'm going to be teaching stuff around Hawaiian huna. I was fortunate enough to train in very, very high-level spiritual stuff from Hawaii over 5 years. And this will be the first time I've ever taught it in Hawaii. I'm one of the few Scottish pale white men to be given permission to teach this stuff. So I'm aching to do that. Our son was also conceived via a fertility pond in Hawaii. So we have personal reasons for going back there. But we've got a sacred site, an astrological event, world-class thought-leading teachers. All we need are willing people who want to blossom. And if you come and let us do that with you, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. If all you got was Karen's work and you're dealing with high-end clients from now on and a tan, that would be a good week. You know?
That's a good week. Truly. And I love it when you share, Jonathan, what you envision too. We're going to be there that whole week. And our speakers, we are in one location. So in the halls, at meals, just socializing, our speakers are available. They are there, they are present, and we'll have an opportunity for people to just share a little bit more and to have more of a sense of who they are and what they will truly gain. But more than anything, it's about people making a difference. And these individuals, Karen and the entire Speaking of Successing group, they are bar none. And I think they were the best kept secret. Well, not anymore. And so we're
coming.
people and shining, right? A lighthouse. This is it. The beacon is going. And we are definitely Ohana, which is family. And nobody's left behind. And so each one of our speakers support each other and elevate each other in their businesses, and the collaboration and the partnership. We are teaching entrepreneurs how to be entrepreneurs, but first and foremost, how to be people, and marrying that mental health and wellness and that financial wellness and the business sector, body, mind, and spirit. It isn't like you go to a conference or meeting, you learn one topic, you have your book, you go back to where you work on Monday and you set the books down. No, this is transformation. This is learning and building upon what's in our hearts.
Or you have a really great session with a particular trainer and you love it and you wish you could pick their brain and ask them questions afterwards, but they're off, they've left the venue and they're gone and you're not going to see them again. No, they're going to be in the bar, they're going to be in the restaurant, they're going to be sitting outside in the foyer, for the whole week. I don't think we're going to get any work done because we'll just keep bumping into people that we want to chat to, But we're also going to facilitate networking events. So Shelley's going to be actually running facilitated networking, where we are going to be matchmaking people. We're going to be asking you, who do you want introductions to? Who do you want to speak to? Who's an ideal client? Great. Leave it with us and we will engineer it that you're in front of the right people. We have event planners coming to help the other speakers get other speaking gigs. So this isn't a one-off. And by the way, we do plan to do this every year. So this isn't a one and done. This is going to be a regular feature, if it possibly can be. So it's an event. It's going to be huge. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Absolutely. Jonathan, I want to mention at the end on Saturday, we are having an expo. So that will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. At that expo, all 30 plus speakers will have their own booth, and people will be able to approach them, to allow them to sign their book or autograph their book, and possibly even talk more from a business level as to signing up perhaps with masterminds and coaching and training and workshops and speaking events. That is all very much the platform of what this entire week is about. So the learning doesn't stop there. The sharing doesn't stop there. We intend to go out and continue the conversation in every area that we speak on.
And you've just reminded me, we're going to be recording everything. We're going to make sure everything is available for replay. Anyone who attends the live event will have access to all of the lectures, all of the workshops, all of the keynotes, all the contact details of all the speakers. So, you can have a reference library to come back to. We'll probably have a Facebook group for members only, and keep the community going. So yeah, it's going to be huge. Be there or miss out.
Absolutely. You will definitely gain wisdom and experience, truly. Karen, do you have anything else you would like to add? Something that would just be fun or exciting, or some information that we hadn't touched upon that you would like to share?
I just think it's going to be amazing. I think we hear so much about summits and conferences and everything, but I'm from where I am, I'm just blown away by what you've put together. And you're right. I think anyone going along for the week is going to be touched in so many ways, because I think they may go along for one thing, but they might just have a conversation at breakfast that changes their life. I think it's just, and I love that phrase. You know, I say to people, be open-minded and open-hearted, and you never know what will happen. And I think this is definitely going to be one of those events where absolutely anything could happen.
Oh yeah, Hawaii is a magical place. You feel the minute you put your foot on the tarmac, you feel it. You feel it. The mana. You know, Dwayne Johnson always goes about the mana. You feel it when you get there. And magical things happen. When you were over there, Jean Marie, over 3 weeks or so. We have a whole book. We have a whole book to write about what went on when you were there. And it has that effect. Anytime I was there, strange but nice occurrences and coincidences, things happen. You know, just being there. But you're drinking the water, you're eating the food, you're breathing the air, you're in a sacred site in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's a huge, huge deal. So yeah, it's going to be hard to top it.
I agree. Karen, thank you very, very much for joining us today, to adding to the specialness, to sharing who you are, what your business is, and why they need to be there. And we just appreciate you. So gratitude of the heart, and mahalo, which means thank you. And anything more, Jonathan?
Your favorite Hawaiian phrase, a hui ho. A hui ho,
I let
which
you
means
say it first.
till we meet again.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be amazing.
Fantastic.
Wonderful, wonderful. Gratitude to the heart. Mahalo.
Thank you.